Today we are going to know all the incredible unknown facts about dog. So without further delay, let's get started. 1. Dogs hate being yelled at. It confuses and scares them. 2. Dogs dislike when you pull on their leash too hard. 3. Many dogs are uncomfortable with being hugged tightly. 4. Dogs hate being left alone for long periods. 5. Dogs don't like when their noses are touched. 6. Dogs dislike sudden loud noises like fireworks or thunder. 7. Some dogs hate being dressed up in clothes that restrict their movement. 8. Dogs can get frustrated when they're teased with food or toys. 9. Dogs dislike when their routines are disrupted. 10. Some dogs hate being bathed, especially if the water is cold. 11. Dogs don't like when strangers invade their personal space too quickly. 12. Dogs dislike being forced to interact with other dogs when they're not in the mood. 13. Dogs can hate when you change their food abruptly. 14. Some dogs dislike having their paws touched or handled. 15. Dogs hate when you stare directly into their eyes. It can feel threatening to them. 16. Dogs dislike when their ears are tugged or pulled. 17. Dogs often hate strong smells like citrus or vinegar. 18. Dogs dislike when they are woken up suddenly. 19. Some dogs hate having their tails pulled. 20. Dogs can be sensitive to the tone of your voice. Harsh tones can upset them. 21. Dogs hate when their owners ignore them for long periods. 22. Dogs dislike being left in confined spaces for too long. 23. Some dogs hate it when you try to clean their teeth. 24. Dogs dislike when their collars are too tight or uncomfortable. 25. Dogs hate when they don't get enough exercise. 26. Dogs dislike being forced into unfamiliar situations. 27. Dogs can get anxious when they sense you're stressed or angry. 28. Dogs often hate being sprayed with water as a form of discipline. 29. Dogs dislike when their nails are clipped too short. 30. Dogs hate when you roughhouse with them too aggressively. 31. Dogs dislike when their toys are taken away suddenly. 32. Some dogs hate walking on hot pavement or icy surfaces. 33. Dogs can be frustrated when they don't get enough mental stimulation. 34. Dogs hate when their beds or resting spots are disturbed. 35. Dogs dislike when they are constantly moved around or relocated. 36. Some dogs hate when their water bowls are empty. 37. Dogs can feel uncomfortable with unfamiliar or strong-smelling perfumes. 38. Dogs dislike when their space is overcrowded with too many people or animals. 39. Dogs can be upset when you leave them with strangers. 40. Some dogs hate when their fur is brushed too roughly. 41. Dogs dislike being reprimanded for something they don't understand. 42. Dogs hate when they don't have access to fresh water. 43. Dogs dislike being forced to play when they're tired. 44. Dogs can get stressed when they're exposed to chaotic environments. 45. Dogs hate when they're left outside in extreme weather. 46. Dogs dislike when they're not given enough bathroom breaks. 47. Dogs can be annoyed by constant interruptions during their nap time. 48. Dogs hate being scolded for behaviors that are natural to them, like barking. 49th. Dogs dislike when they're forced to wear uncomfortable or tight harnesses. 50. Dogs can get anxious when they're not allowed to sniff around on walks. 51. Dogs hate when they're denied social interaction with other dogs. 52nd. Dogs dislike being startled by unexpected touches. 53rd. Dogs can feel uneasy when they're not given clear signals during training. 54. Dogs hate when they're fed poor quality or stale food. 55. Dogs dislike when they're not given a chance to explore new environments. 56. Dogs can feel threatened when you tower over them or invade their space. 57. Dogs hate when they're left in a car alone, especially in warm weather. 58. Dogs dislike when you ignore their signals of discomfort or fear. 59. Dogs can be upset when they're forced into water if they're not comfortable with it. 60. Dogs hate when you don't clean up after them in a timely manner. 61. Dogs dislike when they're restrained for long periods without a break. 62. Dogs can feel anxious when you introduce new pets without proper introductions. 63. Dogs hate when you skip their daily walks. 64. Dogs dislike when you try to force them into small spaces. 65. Dogs can get stressed when their living environment is too noisy. 66. Dogs hate when they're fed irregularly or at inconsistent times. 67. Dogs dislike when they're scolded for making a mess. 68. Dogs can feel uncomfortable when they're constantly moved around during sleep. 69. Dogs hate when they're not given enough opportunities to socialize. 70. Dogs dislike being touched by strangers without a proper introduction. 71. Dogs can feel anxious when their owners argue or raise their voices. 72. Dogs hate when they're exposed to secondhand smoke. 73. Dogs dislike when they're confined to a crate for too long without breaks. 74. Dogs can be upset when they're not allowed to chew on appropriate objects. 75. Dogs hate when they're ignored when trying to communicate a need. 76. Dogs dislike when their water bowls are dirty. 77. Dogs can feel uneasy when they're not allowed to mark their territory on walks. 78. Dogs hate when they're forced to eat in a noisy or chaotic environment. 79. Dogs dislike when you don't pay attention to their body language. 80. Dogs can get frustrated when they're not given enough playtime. 81. Dogs hate when they're left in dark, confined spaces. 82. Dogs dislike when they're scolded for natural behaviors like digging. 83. Dogs can get stressed when they're exposed to too many new stimuli at once. 84. Dogs hate when they're not given enough praise for good behavior. 85. Dogs dislike when their beds are not comfortable or clean. 86. Dogs can feel uneasy when they're exposed to unfamiliar animals. 87. Dogs hate when they're left in unfamiliar places without familiar smells. 88. Dogs dislike when their owners are inconsistent with rules and boundaries. 89. Dogs can get frustrated when they're not allowed to express their energy. 90. Dogs hate when they're deprived of their favorite toys or blankets. 91. Dogs dislike when you use harsh training methods. 92. Dogs can feel anxious when they're not given clear instructions. 93. Dogs hate when they're ignored in favor of screens or other distractions. 94. Dogs dislike when you don't allow them to explore new scents. 95. Dogs can be upset when they're not given enough time to adjust to new situations. 96. Dogs hate when they're bathed too frequently, which can dry out their skin. 97. Dogs dislike when you don't respect their need for personal space. 98. Dogs can feel uncomfortable when you're overly rough during playtime. 99. Dogs hate when they're forced to wear accessories that are uncomfortable. 100. Dogs dislike when they're not given enough love and attention. Comment any fact about Guy's dog that surprised you. And subscribe the channel to see all such interesting facts.